are back for another Super Tuesday recap of Supergirl, and we have some super special guests. I totally worked on that earlier today. So we are joined, the doctor and I are joined today by Rod and Karen from The Black Guy Who Tipped. Yay!
Hey,
Well,
everybody. Thank you for having us, guys.
Yes.
Thanks for agreeing to come on. This is wonderful.
I feel so famous.
Nice.
So this whole season, we have been reviewing Supergirl, and it's been the two of us, as per usual, and I love the doctor, obviously. But I was like, this season is so good. We need to have more people talk about how amazing things are. And I hope that I'm not going to ask you this question, and then you're going to be like, actually, we hate the show. What have you two been thinking of the season 4 of Supergirl so far?
I have absolutely loved it. I've always liked Supergirl, but after they changed networks, they took a turn for the better. I think they were able to be more open. They were able to talk about real topics. And one thing about Supergirl, every time I watch it, it reflects the real world. Like literally, it's almost like they watch the real world and go, how can we take this and mimic this into a TV show? And I'm here for it. You know, the way they talk about alien rights, you know, a lot of Black people in it, you know. So for me, I like that there's centers the story around brown people, LGBTQ people. You know, there are leads and woman-centric. Like, Supergirl has been hitting its strides. And, you know, when you talk about white women and the 50%, it just shows you this, even though it's a made-up universe and a made-up world, I can relate to a lot of the things. And I think this season right here, out of all the seasons, is one of the best seasons of Supergirl, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'll just piggyback on that. I've loved it. It's my favorite season of Supergirl so far. I've missed Win a little bit, but the addition by subtraction of getting rid of Mon-El just took the show to a next level for me. Because I really wasn't into their like love story. And then just the social commentary that they interlace throughout every episode where, you know, where there's immigration, the whole having a president that may be anti-alien, like the idea of basically having the alt-right in the Supergirl universe, and tackling the fact that Kara, as a alien that passes as a white woman, has a level of privilege and blindness to her to just what the real world is like for people like John, and even like Manchester Black, who was a character I didn't think I would like at first, but I really like that idea of just the guy who's like wasn't necessarily an evil dude, but just was like almost Antifa, like I'm punching them in the mouth now. Like so I've enjoyed that. And then just the way they have like metaphors for stuff, or just actual like, okay, this is a trans actress, we're not gonna like make a big deal out of this person being trans, like it's not gonna become like a very special episode or anything, but just the idea that, you know, we're gonna have a lot more inclusion and diversity than just, you know, beyond just the surface level for a lot of these stories. So yeah, big fan of this season. And then of course the action and the villains have actually been really compelling, whether it was Mercy and her dumbass brother, or of course the Agent of Liberty. They've been some really compelling villains, considering that, you know, last year was all about Rain and how can Kara physically take her down, and this one is like, how do you stop the mentality of the same way we feel every day in America, where it's like, how do you stop the mentality of people who are just bigoted and hateful and continue to win politically and make themselves a victim and stuff? It's very, very good TV.
Yeah, I think a couple of weeks ago, Kara asked that question. She was just like, how do we stop people from feeling this way? And I was like, I think I tweeted at the Supergirl writers. I was like, yo, if you can figure it out, please let us know. Like,
Right?
please write an episode about it.
It's like we're all waiting on the end of the season so we can be like, oh, okay. So then we just need to like do that.
Yeah. They're going to solve it by the end of the season.
And I hope they do, because the thing is that you're fighting against the idea. And once you fighting against ideas and philosophies and things that people actually feel, regardless of if it's truth or fact, that's something that Kara can't punch against. Like most of Supergirl has been punching and fighting and growing and learning. It's like, no. You have to use a different technique. And she still wants to use the same technique. And then she doesn't realize that the techniques that she's using is actually falling into the trap and making it actually worse.
Mm-hmm. I love you guys. I just love that you're saying everything we say every single week. I feel valid. I feel seen and validated. So this episode, season 2, episode 8, Bunker Hill. I want to just start by saying, I don't know. Kevin Smith directed it. In general, the writing has been on point this season. But was it anybody else? This episode, I laughed so much. The lines were so on point from every character.
You know what it is? Whenever Brainy is on the screen, you're guaranteed a laugh, honestly. And it's not because he's slapstick comic relief, but he's so like deadpan with it. Mm-hmm. Like even when he was fighting in the warehouse, he's just like, I guess I could do this and I can do this. And this is what we're going to do. It's just like, Lord.
But even like Manchester he had bars every single scene.
Yeah, I low-key kind of like hate that Brainy is so stupid, but at the same time, I can't help but laugh. Like, like it's like I feel bad because I want him to be like the Brainiac of, all the comic and nerd lore of, even though he's the future Brainiac, like, super smart and like, emotionless and all this stuff. And now he's just kind of like a dumbass in a way, but he does it so good. Every week I'm like, I roll my eyes, and then every week he says at least one or two jokes where I'm like, that was fucking hilarious.
Yes, and I think the thing that I love about him is I don't mind him being quote unquote dumb, because to him it's almost like he has to slow himself down.
Yeah, so he won't fuck up the time continuum. But it was just funny, like, because like I said, I liked him when he was smart, and then Win was kind of comic relief, right? And so now he's kind of replacing Win. But like, I don't want to laugh because he's so like, it's stupid to a point where it's like, how would you ever even keep a job? Like you that. But then yes. And so I'm like, so it kind of takes me out of the show. But then he'll have a moment like when he had the black lady who was like the head of the DEO, and he started talking to her about that pie, and I was crying laughing. I was like, I want to be mad, but he's so good. And like that cool little fight scene he had where he didn't even like hit the people and made them like knock themselves out. Like, he's such a cool, fun character. But yeah, I do be low-key wanting to hate.
He's very much book smart with no common sense. Yeah. That's the problem with Brainy.
When Kara tried to convince him to let her get kidnapped, so they could find out by Agent Literary, he goes, chicanery. Very good. Yeah.
He also took that girl like 3 feet away.
Right.
Like,
I was like, you didn't go far enough away.
Like, go around the corner, man. What you doing?
He's like, yes, we will walk right over here to this storefront. We'll never.
We're not gonna go inside the store. We're just gonna hang
right.
outside.
Nia was like, "Oh, she getting kidnapped." I was like, "Oh, there go the plan."
Oh my god, I just love him so much. Chicanery. I like it took me out. It for real took me out. Oh my gosh. So those characters. Manchester Black.
My boo. Love you.
I know, like, we joke all the time about villain agenda and all of that, but I seriously love him.
Yeah, I call him Manchester Black Lives Matter because that dude is so woke and militant. And when he starts arguing with like Kara and John, I'm like always on his side.
Yes.
Because he's not wrong. You know, it's that Chris Rock line. I'm not saying he got to kill folks, but I understand. I understand where he's coming from.
When she is like, Ben, your friend is here, and when he turned around,
he was so
shooketh. Oh my! I have never.
Speaking of dumb, Ben's wife was so dumb this episode. Like, I'm like, how are you not picking up on the subtext that this man is not your friend? Like they weren't even having like veiled threats. They were like straight up threats where he's like, you're going to need to invite me back in and be nice. And then he's like, honey, we're having more tea. She's like, oh, great, I'll get some tea. I'm like, no, ma'am. Like, how is she racist against aliens but not racist against black people? I'm like, who is this white woman?
She was like, would you like some cheese and crackers too?
She's somebody who voted for Obama twice. That's what it was.
I thought this whole thing was over when Obama got elected.
I mean, it was Brainy or bust.
I mean, come on.
Oh my God. When he
He said, I'm part of the intolerant left, and I died.
oh my God.
Yes.
When they did the whole history thing and he was like, yes, it's from the Battle of Bunker Hill where the British were defeated. And I was just like, I mean, she has to figure it out now, right? Like they're using historical references to threaten each other. Like she has to get
really waited till Manchester threw his ass into that like cabinet. I think this black man might be here to hurt us. Okay.
I didn't catch the clues.
Oh God. And she was still like, he's Agent Liberty. No, no.
Right. She was like, oh, I thought we was going to do some BBC. You didn't tell me he was coming.
You want to watch a different type of BBC than what Manchester Black was bringing.
Look, all I know is like she did not know how to read a room at all.
No, she didn't.
When he said, "Oh, I believe you know my fiance Fiona."
Oh, you know what? That was the record scratch moment.
Yes.
Like, you probably wonder how we got here. That's all that was in Ben's face, like. And I heard Bill Duke at that point.
You know you don't fuck up, right?
No, you don't fuck up.
Oh my gosh! Manchester.
It was wild too with Manchester Black because like he really had to like terrorize that dude and like make him get his suit on and all that stuff with one hand tied behind his back because John was like psychically trying to break in.
Come on.
Every like 5 minutes, and he still ended up, about to kill that man.
So this is my thing. When John broke in at the end and he would like right when he really had him, I was like, I would just like to point out that the person he's trying to kill is the person who has already killed multiple people. This one, I think we could let it go. Like why? Why of all the deaths that we've tried to stop? This is the same John Jones who basically destroyed Ben Lockwood's house and then flew away like, deuces, see you later.
Look, all I know is like, John, this is a Batman from Batman Begins moment. You ain't gotta kill him. You ain't gotta save him. Right. Let it go.
I was really upset with John. And he would always break in at the most inconvenient moment.
Oh my God, yes, he did.
I was happy though when I read because the first time he did it, I thought he was just talking to Manchester. I didn't realize like everything stopped.
Right. That was beautiful.
I didn't that either, but I was like, oh, so they don't see him like actually communicating.
Yeah. Because the first time he did it, I was like, they're in the middle of a conversation. That's rude. But then afterwards, I was like, oh, okay, everything paused. So he's the only one who knows what's happening. And when he interrupted him when he was holding the bayonet to him, I was like, you gonna get him killed.
Right. But John, I love you normally, but come on.
Like, this is the worst. Yeah, so in the end, they end up arresting Lockwood and Manchester. So we have not lost Manchester. There is still the opportunity for him to come back, and therefore I'm good. I'm happy.
I was really scared they were gonna kill Manchester. Like I was like, like I was really like, we riot if they did all that stuff to stop Manchester, and then Ben ends up killing him while he's incapacitated. I was not here for that. I was gonna be so pissed, but yeah, I'm glad he lived, and ultimately, I'm glad that they didn't kill Ben, because I didn't realize until the show's so good. I didn't realize until the prison part where I was like, oh, he would have been like a martyr. Like,
yes,
they definitely would have turned him into like the unfairly, because he's already like their Bill O'Reilly, and he turns out to be like their Donald Trump. Like he's both in one. Like they definitely would have turned it. Like, he's gonna be, you know, a martyr alive too, but he would have been a even bigger problem dead.
Yeah, and also I think I guess my kind of prediction is that they're in jail together. So it's going to be interesting. I wonder if Manchester is going to go through a form of redemption, or dealing with having to deal and look at him all the time. And I guarantee you he has a following in prison too. So that's really interesting.
Oh yeah. My thing is, I like we were talking about the fact that there was social commentary, and isn't that just the way? Supergirl, yes, she was incapacitated by the nth metal, but she had a clean shot at Ben. She could have zapped his ass with her X-ray vision, because that nth metal wasn't stopping her from doing that. And the fact that not only did she not do that, but she saved his 53% wife from breaking her skull. And y'all still are like, well, fuck Supergirl. I'm like, you still have a wife and a life because she chose not to go there. And isn't that just similar to how white people look at people of color? Like, if we really wanted to burn this motherfucker down because of the way we were treated, it would have been burned down, but we don't. But you don't appreciate that level of restraint in spite of everything that's done to us. And it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, and
so well.
Supergirl is like the alien version of Obama, you know?
Yes.
Like maybe Superman, but we don't really see, that's not what this show's about. But like she's passing as your precious blonde white lady. She only uses her powers to help humanity. She's like, all the other stuff you love about the like the best of them, and then you turn around and you hate her anyway. If anything, it's almost more emasculating that she was the one saving humans. They even tried to make James like the big dog, and it's like Jimmy is cool, but he ain't no Supergirl. So like, why y'all trying to turn him into the hero that she already is? It's just the bigotry.
Yeah, because I think the thing with James was that they wanted him to actually be the forefront, the face, because you're just a quote unquote normal human being, and you're out here doing these magnificent things. And he was like, but I don't hate aliens. Like, we actually aren't on the same page. And the thing is for me too with Kara, like you said, it's amazing her restraint. It's amazing her love. And it's one of the things where she kind of similar to Obama, she actually believed in these people and still has that hope. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with that hope. If they crush that hope and have to rebuild her hope, because we're to the point to where she's going to eventually feel hopeless, because this is going to be one of the first times, like I said, you can't punch your way through it. You can't sit and do a group think and figure out an alternative. Like, you're going to have to do something to change the hearts and the minds of the people. And you being a symbol ain't going to cut it anymore, because all of a sudden now she's going to be viewed as a villain.
And you can't you can't power of love your way out of it either, because that's been her thing.
Can we talk about the self-awareness of that too? She said it like when John was feeling bad about trusting Manchester, she said it. She was like, that's my whole deal. That's who I am. I'm the person who believes that people can change even when they've shown you everything to the contrary. Like, that's what I do. And so I think going into this second half of the season, that's really what it's going to be about, is like, what if people can't change no matter how hard you love them?
Yeah, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with somebody that says, I don't care about your love, I don't care, I'm going to be bigoted, and no matter what you do, no matter what you say, you can never make me love you, or think of you as a human being? Because the thing is, as far as human beings go, it's almost like they feel left out. It's like everybody is talking about the aliens and how to respect them and love them, which I completely understand. But the humans like, hey, we are actually almost like a byproduct of being attacked and being abused and being left out. And we don't have superpowers and we can't do these magnificent things. So, and it will make people fear, and it will make people say, I want to level the playing field. And what do you do to get people's to understand that sometimes things aren't that. I think the biggest thing is what do you do to calm people's fears down? And that's a question that's going to be almost impossible to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was my whole Supergirl section right there.
Oh, we're not going to talk about the fact that she flew a fucking building into the air. Come on.
That's all you. You love that comic booky stuff that she does.
I love it.
I have the shit out of that building. And I was like sitting up there like, how is she gonna get out of this? Because like y'all said, she didn't shoot the laser beam eyes, and I was like, so she gonna let this fool kill Manchester? Like what is the plan, sis? And then she slammed that building down. I said, that'll work.
I guess.
I really just was hoping that the wife was gonna die too. That was the only thing. And when Kara came across that, like the way they filmed it, when she came up and you finally see that she caught her, I was actually low-key disappointed, because I was like, oh, so this will be the thing that gives Agent Liberty like more of a reason to hate Kara. Mm-hmm. And then when she lived, I was like, oh, of course, because Kara is like so good. She's such a good person. She saved that. Like, I would have let her die.
A lot of people were like, whoops, I missed.
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy, that shit.
Mm-hmm. Shouldn't have been playing with them guns. That's why I was. Also, like, where does Manchester get his weapons from? Because, like,
the bow staff. The bow staff shot lasers. I was like, this is
it came out of nowhere. Like, he was just talking and then it was in his hand. Yeah. I was like, yo, this dude is a beast.
I was like, where is the charge? It was like, bzzz. I was like, where did this come from? Is his coat like charging it?
Look, all I know is I remember him going to that one weapons dealer and buying a bunch of guns. I didn't see no alien weapons, so he must have been hitting up a few places.
Yo, that dude, he's like, if you stay ready, you know what I mean? Like, even when, and he got, like, can we talk about the fact that this dude got stabbed in the chest and just shrugged it off like it was a splinter? And pursue this man to a entire other like warehouse to fight him and kill him. Like that he's amazing.
Yeah, he's the best. David Ajala for all the awards, all the shows.
He is acting.
He's blacking. That is what he is.
His whole thing. I'm out here looking for revenge.
Yes.
It was like, I will accept nothing less than that.
And is Nia part of the Supergirl story, or are y'all
Nia's her own story? But I do want to point out another just comedian. I swear whoever wrote this episode, actually, I should just get the person's name and credit them. When Kara walked up to those Children of Liberty people to try and get kidnapped, and she said her name was Kara Liberty. I died. I was like,
my dad is Agent.
I think you know my dad, Agent.
Like she really tried to pet the dog, and the dog barked at her. Like, it was one of them racist alien sniffing dogs that she really was like, oh, okay.
This episode was written by Rob Wright and Eric Carrasco. Kudos to both of you, gentlemen, because this is one of the best episodes. The lines were just hitting every single one of them. I think you know my dad, Agent. I was like, it's a good thing she's trying to get kidnapped, because if she wasn't, this would be the worst undercover mission.
I was like, if you use the pickup line, girl, you losing.
Oh. He also wrote Fallout and American Alien this season. And I think the other person, he's written a few episodes. He wrote he was the story editor on last week's episode. It looks like this might have been his first written by. The rest of them he's been editor. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, amazing. Just amazing lines. Way to know the characters, guys. This is great. Yeah, let's talk about Nia. This was really her, I don't want to say origin story, because there's still a lot we don't know about, but this was really her journey into becoming a superhero this episode. And we find out that she has the most amazing drag queen roommate ever.
Okay, so real quick, when I looked it up, she refers to herself as transgender.
Okay.
Not as a drag queen.
Transgender.
Roxy Wood. Yep.
Yeah, she was giving me like full RuPaul's Drag Race vibes. But yeah.
No, it was wild too, because like when that part happened on the show, I was like, Karen, do we know them? Like, have we met this person before? And then like I just forgot, like, because I feel like that was such a memorable like 30 seconds of TV that I would remember seeing that character before. Karen was like, that's just her roommate. I was like, yo, Nia has an interesting life.
Yeah, she really does. Because I love the way, like, this is clearly, even though it was, like you said, 30 seconds, and this is our first time meeting this character, you very clearly got a sense of their history together, where she's just like, ma'am, you do this all the time. You tell me not to wake you up. You know you need more sleep than this. And I'm sick and tired of you.
It was just so funny. It was like, go secure the bag, mama. I was like, I would remember this character if we saw her before. Like, can they get a spinoff show? Like, what do we got to do to make this happen?
I would watch just like Nia, Brainy, Nia's roommate every week.
They didn't give her a name, and I want her to come back because she's just listed as Nia's roommate. I'm like, come on.
No, they gotta give her.
You know, she gotta say something about Nia and Brainy. Come on, gotta give it to us.
Oh, that'll be awesome. Imagine when they start dating and they're trying to hang out at the apartment. Oh, jokes. It's gonna be comedy. And so the dreams that she has are prophetic. And I really like how they did this, because more and more of her dream revealed itself to her, like when she stopped fighting it. And she was able to also like change the dreams and see what was happening. I mean, I figured out pretty early. I was like, oh, this is about Manchester, and this is what, like, I figured it all out pretty early in the episode, but it was really cool to watch her start to control it. And then when they get to the part where they're kidnapped and she's able to see the guy coming before he attacks them. That's some superhero shit I love. Like, that was so well done. And when she breaks the cuffs with the bullet.
Yes.
I was like Cara in that scene. I was like, oh my God, did you see what you just did?
And I mean, you know, we were positing that she might be a meta, but she's actually from another planet.
And Brainy called her Nura.
Mm-hmm. And that she's important to the future. And it's not like every woman from her planet gets this. It's a once in a generation thing. So she's special that way.
Mm-hmm. Also, Nia doesn't know who Lois Lane is, and I felt that was lightweight shade. She's like, Lois Lane, who's that? I was like, that's fucked up.
We're supposed to get Lois next week.
I know. That's why I felt like it was shade, because we're about to meet Lois.
Did y'all feel like they're trying to ship Brainy and Nia at all, or is that just me?
Yeah. No, I felt like that from the interaction in the pizza place a few episodes ago when she intervened on his behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I ship it.
I ship it. I'm here for it. I ship it. I ship it like it's going out of style. I ship it like FedEx.
Ship it like the Titanic. Oh wait.
No, I hate you so
much. Ship. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I love their whole thing. And then, oh my God, and then also her showing up to work with all that coffee.
Yes. And then also Kara asking Jimmy, like, so how's everything going? He's like, well, me and Lena, we having some issues. She's like, I was talking about your article.
I'm like, I don't care about your personal life.
They have come so far from her crushing on Jimmy to just like straight up being like, don't nobody care about that.
And I will still continue to be like the lone person on the lifeboat that is the Jimmy Kara ship. I'm sorry.
I was with you until he kissed her in season 1. I'm like, that ain't sexy at all.
Just saying. I will continue. I will go down with this ship. Forever.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on a better choice of all of them people because I didn't like Monel, and then Wentz had like a half a episode of pining over her, and I was like, I don't see it. And Jimmy is just like him. After he been with Lena and stuff, I'm like, whatever. Like, thank you. Next.
Okay, Mocha Grande's in the house.
and you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't get back together because I think he really hurt her feelings.
Oh, Lena and him?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like he really crushed her feelings where he was like, this is the type of love that I don't know that I'm willing to deal with you if you love me like this.
Man, when she told him that I'm the reason your ass ain't in jail, he didn't know what to do.
Right.
He kind of low-key broke up with her. So for him to come sniffing back around last week and this week, I'm like, dude, you low-key broke up with her. She ain't got to take you back. She's a millionaire.
Mm-hmm. Like it hurt his little man feelings when she hit him with that, like, no, I'm the reason you ain't in jail, fool. Then he was like, oh, I don't have a comeback for that. So we breaking up.
That's it. All right, we are going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, I just want to talk a little bit more about Ben Lockwood and what is coming up next, because I feel like they have set up a super awesome arc.
Mm-hmm.
What if you're more than you think you're meant to be? What if you're right? Arun Kerala is a 16-year-old Muslim boy. He is also the reincarnation of Jesus. But discovering you're a teenage godhead isn't easy. Arun goes on a journey of self-discovery. He faces villains both supernatural and societal. He is Young God. Young God is the original comic project written by MTR Network's Shanna and illustrated by artist Tara Simone. You can support this original comic story at patreon.com/younggod. Check out younggod.mtrnetwork.net for more information.
All right, and we are back. So you, Doctor, pointed out something that I did not notice, that Ben Lockwood might be going a little crazy.
Yeah, so I might have to go back and watch it again for a third time, but I thought he was on the phone, right? And he was talking, but then he was talking like someone was talking to him. He didn't have a headset in. And then he kept referring to himself in the third person like he was trying to hide something. I'm like, are you recording into a voice memo for later? Are you talking to yourself? What is happening? What is going on? So I don't know. I don't think he's 100% there, but then are racist people really all there anyway?
This is true. This is big
I,
facts.
I'm wondering if there's something deeper going on that we don't know about. And I still think I don't want it to be a thing where it's like, oh, he's being mind controlled, blah, blah, blah. That will be very disappointing. But Supergirl has not disappointed me yet in the last 3 years. So I'm not too worried about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's
Yeah,
interesting.
they gave him too much of a backstory for it to be mind control, in my opinion. Because like he has all the motivations to be a rotten, bigoted person. Like
Yeah.
the stuff with his father and his house and all that stuff. So yeah, you're right. If they did decide to go like some type of like he has a mind control thing or like a boss or something, like it would be like a kind of a cop out.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because Jimmy has a line towards the end of the episode, which was like irony when he goes, he talks about Lockwood being a psycho in a mask, which I was like, remember that time you were a vigilante? Like, you can't really, not a lot of room to talk there, Jimmy. But it'd be interesting if it turns out that there is some like additional psychosis there, like in taking on these two personas. That would be interesting. And then so let's talk about his wife, who he gets arrested. At first she's all like, no, there's no way he could be Agent Liberty. Then he gets arrested, he's going to jail, and she's the main one leading the charge, the chant.
Yeah, I wonder if she's gonna become like Madam Liberty or something. Like while he's in jail, she's gonna be the new like put on the mask or something.
I think she will, and a lot of this to me touch the reality of bigoted people are supported by their own, just like white racist men are supported by white racist women. You know, a lot of times they, play the victim, but they also play a part. Because I remember when we was talking about Charlottesville, like me and Rod talking about, he said, guess what? Somebody had to pack them lunches and make them trips and plan them flights and all that stuff. And then all the men didn't do all that. Somebody had to pick them clothes out and all that stuff. There were women behind the scene. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times women, just like black women help shit run, white women help shit run too. Mm-hmm. So I could see her playing a major, major part and actually being a voice. It wouldn't surprise me if she actually becomes a spokesperson, because now since he is public who he is, I can see her. We come back and she has a TV show and she's the one in with the voice and
doing interviews on TV shows,
right?
And then because the president in this universe cares a lot about them polls and what's popular, and if you can make getting Agent Liberty out of jail popular enough with a sympathetic widow, or not widow, but sympathetic, wife at home, like I could see that working.
Right. And it wouldn't surprise me. Y'all were talking about that recording. It wouldn't surprise me if he's not crazy. He was just, I think that at first I was like, somebody was there. Then when y'all started talking, I was like, okay, it could be possibility that nobody was there. He may have been just talking into his recorder. What happens if she finds that recorder and start listening, kind of listening to his, because we don't really do diaries anymore. So kind of just listening to his words and letting that stuff sink in. So it wouldn't surprise me if she steps up and she actually becomes a bigger threat to Kara.
Yeah.
It's an audio manifesto, basically.
Yeah.
It seems like that's what he's developing. And then, like you said, I mean, he made this big to-do, like, I put on the mask to protect my family, but who are you really, blah, blah, blah. So now she doesn't, Madam Liberty, quote unquote, doesn't have to put on the mask. Everyone knows who she is. And it's like, yeah, I am a fighter for human rights. And I'm not ashamed to say it. Everyone knows now, and everyone seems to have my back.
I'm like, might start in a podcast.
Look, you never know. Also, I'm like, y'all don't get it. Did Great Value Drogon not become a wake-up call that y'all don't want to fuck with these aliens? I mean, let's talk about it. They got fucking dragons. You might want to calm the hell down. Read the room.
Speaking of what's to come, I'm really excited. And it's funny because we were just talking about Black Lightning yesterday and how a little uneven it can be in terms of wrapping up a storyline and setting up a new storyline. I really feel like they did a good job in this first half of the season of introducing all these new characters. We got Agent of Liberty, we got the Graves, all this kind of stuff. closing this chapter of what's happening and setting us up for so much more to come for the rest of the season. Like,
Yeah, I
Kara
was
has
very
to
interested too in
choose.
that they didn't retread. Like I don't think we've gotten like like, oh, here's Livewire again, or here's some stuff going on with Rain. Like they're just like, nah, all new story beats. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I appreciate that. And also it's gonna be interesting to see what Lena does, because she is really like, hey, people need to be able to defend themselves. Like she said this several times. I hope people ain't ignoring her with her talking and her, going down her science lab and trying to, find cures and shit like that. She might fuck around and be a major problem.
Yeah, and if it's anything like if I've learned anything from Batman, the scientist that starts experimenting on themselves is always a problem. And she killed that dude and was like sounding like she really regretted like experimenting on other people and shit. So I hope she don't like take a dose of whatever that stuff is and become a problem.
Yeah. Oh, she's definitely going to become a problem because she's Syndrome from The Incredibles. She wants to make everybody a super. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and people aren't going to pay attention, but fortunately they've created the story in such a way that it makes sense. Right. It was like, what the fuck are y'all not paying attention to? Here, they've got so much going on. They got Agent of Liberty. They got dealing with Colonel Hayes and the president and the DEO issues. They're dealing with Manchester Black going full ham. So they're so distracted by that no one has the chance to pay attention to what Lena's doing. Plus, you got Jimmy like tanking a relationship, so you don't even have him as a visual person on the scene. Like, y'all, we got a problem over here. Lena fucking up.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're not going to pay attention, but it's written in such a way that it makes sense that no one's going to see it coming until it's too late.
And I think they've done a really good job of all of these characters are still in play. Like, other than the Graves, all of these characters that they've introduced are still in play, but they're at a totally different point than where we started. And there's so many places you can take them that, I don't know, it's just really reminding me of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in that way, where it's just like, it's moving.
I think a lot of CW shows, to an extent, not the same, but just trying to mimic that, because when 20-something seasons, you can't drag. Like, you got to keep stuff moving. And also, one thing I also want to kind of talk about with Kara is going to be interesting. I think something's going to happen to cause Kara to come out with who she is, because they was like, oh, bitch, you don't want to tell us who you are, you got to go. So it's going to be interesting, because I think something's going to happen. And she's going to come out, or she's going to be revealed. And I think once that happens, Lena's mother had already told Supergirl, hey, I ain't got to say nothing, because eventually she gonna find out all y'all been lying to her. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to worry about nothing. Eventually me and her gonna be on the same page.
Yeah, that also brings another thing I was thinking about is, because this is the end of the first half of the season, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then of course we get Elseworlds next week, which they had a great setup for that at the end of the show. But we still never really revisited Russian Supergirl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's still in play.
Like, she's just sitting out there, so that could be also have something to do with the second half of the season, is Kara versus Kara.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's just so much. There's so much left. Let's talk about that Elseworlds setup, the immediate setup, not the next season setup. I screamed. I don't know about anybody else. I screamed in my house when I saw John Wesley's ship in the original Flash costume from the TV show. I want to know what closet he pulled that out of.
I was like, this is why your Earth lost.
Right? It was all lofty and shit. I was like, is you Justin with that?
Y'all still stuck in the 80s.
Come on.
I was thinking about, remember over the summer, I think it was like 2 random pictures of Grant in the new Flash suit, like with like no CGI or whatever, like just him walking around Vancouver in between the set, and that Flash suit came out, and everybody got on him. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, he's so skinny, and the suit doesn't even look right, and it looks like really bad, and all this stuff." And I'm like, John Wesley Shipp pulled that. I think it's made of felt Flash costume out of his back closet. And y'all got the audacity to talk about Grant.
Come on, he rocking crushed velvet. What are we talking about here?
It is not right. It is not right. But I have never been more excited for a crossover episode. I'm already all in.
Coming off of the last one too, like they're just getting better and better every year doing the crossovers.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think they're gonna hit the ground running, and I can't help myself, but I crack up every time I see Oliver in the Flash suit. It doesn't matter how many times. I don't know what it doesn't even matter what they do. They don't have to give him a funny line. Oliver as a speedster with that beard is gonna make me laugh.
Right. Because it's almost things where you go, he's so buff, where you go, you look ridiculous, dog.
I think it's the beard. I don't know. Something's just throwing me off. I'm just like, you look so stupid.
And it's stubble.
It's so funny because everyone, it's the buffness too, though, because I feel like that was one of the biggest complaints about when Grant was cast is how skinny he is, and how the Flash in like the comics and in cartoons is actually kind of built. But I don't feel like a skin tight suit works when you're built like that.
True.
Like honestly, physiologically, it doesn't make sense. Someone who runs that goddamn much ain't gonna have no neck.
Right.
All the position these animated movies.
Right. You ain't gonna be big and thick, running faster than the speed of light. To me, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oliver in that suit, but we also are gonna get my secret crack ship that nobody else is on but me, which is Iris and Oliver. That's gonna be happening.
You know what? Their chemistry was actually
so
good
then when we
together.
get Felicity and Barry. Wow, that is gonna be super weird.
Yes.
Y'all can't see my face, but I'm just like grinning.
Like, I didn't even think about all this in the Elseworlds. Like everything's gonna be all messed up.
So this is gonna be my first introduction to it. So I'm
maybe
excited.
Diggle will be Cisco. Like what's gonna happen?
Right?
And we're getting our Superman back, and hey, I'm here for that.
Yeah, I want to see Diggle come up with nicknames for all the bad guys now.
Look, all I know is last year the CW gave me the Justice League movie I deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I trust them.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet as it's kept, two best moments of that crossover. Keenan as Wally dodging them bullets.
Yes!
And
Michael Jackson style.
Cisco opening the portal for Oliver to jump through and shoot that arrow.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That entire wedding scene was awesome, especially when Kara's clapped back. Oh my God, yeah.
Sarah and Alex back-to-back fighting.
Sarah and Alex, yes.
That I shipped them, even though I know that probably will never happen. I shipped them too because that chemistry was great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, I'm ready. Like my body is ready for this crossover. It's going to be amazing. And then also at the end of the day, Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin have the most beautiful bromance.
Yes.
They do.
They legit love each
also
other.
Looking forward to getting some Constantine up in here.
Yes.
I like
Yes.
Oh no, they're not. Legends isn't a part of it.
No. Oh, word.
Legends isn't a part of it.
Not this time around. Nope.
They're doing their own thing.
Oh.
I know. I'm with you.
I love that.
Because I live for Sarah interacting with all of them. Because I feel like she just has. Katie Lotz just has chemistry with everybody she's on screen with.
Mm-hmm.
So every single time she's in a scene with somebody, I'm like, they should kiss.
I know. But low key, I feel that way about Constantine too.
Right?
Listen. The Legends this season gave me Constantine and Natalia. And I'm like, we can have it every week. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Very
That's
much
my
so.
dude.
Whew, okay. Let's get to this feedback. We don't have
it up,
to.
or do you want me to read it?
Yeah. If you have it up, I have it up. But
Just like, okay. Sting, hey, sweetie. Just finished watching it. First of all, fuck John. Mind your business, Manhunter. If it wasn't for you, Manchester would have solved everyone's problems.
not wrong.
We're slowly inching closer to Kara telling the president to fuck all the way off. I really don't understand why they're making it seem like she works for the DEO. Bitch, she's a consultant. Kara is a 1099 independent contractor.
I really do. How does Kara fill out her W-2s?
Right.
Like, is this all pro bono work?
They got a lot of turnover there anyway.
True.
Right? That's true. That ending just pissed me off. Lockwood's wife went full 53% white woman. When she was there once he got his show. No, she went 53% when John fucked up her house. I'm not saying she right, but you fuck up my house and be like, oh, you good, and fly off. I might be a little irritated with you too. Just putting it out there. But yes, I agree. Fuck her too. Interested in the continuing development of Nia's character. Love Brainiac 5. Consistent towing the line between giving the cast enough information to get by without fucking up the future timeline. Here's looking at you, Barry and Nora. Spoilers. Not sure what the hell is going on in the Stinger, but look like everyone from the Justice Society of America, the Ray, Vibe, Killer Frost, the Hawk, Stargirl, and Green Arrow all got their asses whooped. And that Green Arrow was dead, looked like Justin Hartley's costume from Smallville.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because they said that one of the scenes that they put out there was I think it was filmed on a Smallville set with Clark and Lois back in Smallville, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I have to go back and look it up.
That's right.
I'm excited for Elseworlds. I hope each show airing this week has a teaser at the end. Thanks, Sting. Justin,
could you imagine?
Gray.
Wait, I'm sorry. Pause. Could you imagine if they got Justin Hartley back for the Elseworlds crossover to play a Green Arrow?
Man.
Yes. I would die. I know he's doing This Is Us and he's a serious actor now, but please come back. That would be amazing.
You're gonna come back like, woo, child, the ghetto. I've been to Vietnam for real, y'all.
It's Wu Chile. Wu Chile.
Justin, our buddy from 3/5, who I succinctly pointed out, like, dude, you named your baby John Jones, and I think that's beautiful. Anyway, this show continues to be better than it has any right to be. The writers found a way to take an invincible hero and tell a compelling story with real stakes. Kara isn't trying to save the world. She's trying to save their souls. Very true. Manchester and Kara are going to fight before the season is over, and I can't wait for the emotional roller coaster. And then Sting replied, yo, the look on his face when he got her with that gas grenade and screamed, gotcha, bitch. Man.
Right. He knew she was going to catch it. He was like, stupid.
You big dummy. Chase says, this season of Supergirl is way better than any season of Super Anything that has ever been on TV, and rivaling season 1 of The Flash for me is the best CW season we've seen so far. Manchester Black is right. I don't disagree. Okay.
Yeah. I also like Manchester Black, the actor or whatever. Yes. He really loves a good like monologue. So like that makes it even better because like he threw that thing in Kara's face and then he just started touchdown dancing like you might start feeling the inside of your lungs bleeding right now. So you might want to take a breath and you really need to decide whose side you're on, princess. All right. Let me get the staff that I had the whole time that you didn't see.
He is literally giving us like Shakespearean-esque soliloquies, like in the middle of beating people's asses.
That's that British acting training, I'm telling you.
Can't get too mad at him. I'm sorry, Samuel Jackson. I'm sorry.
Right. They bringing this shit. Let them have it. Marion says, so we're starting a GoFundMe from Manchester and putting something on his books.
Look.
We know he's not going out no time soon, but watch Ben be free in 48 hours. I don't see the line here. Supergirl was like, don't start nothing, won't be nothing when she got fired. Who fired Supergirl? That's a good point. How you fire an alien that could wreck your whole shit? She lifted a fucking building and fought a dragon.
Right.
Is that really the person you want to get on the bad side of?
Because she hit him like, hey, come on, we don't want no problems with Supergirl. She was like, don't start nothing then, dog. You mind your business, I mind mine.
Mm-hmm. How does Chris say it on the insanity check? People are stupid. Gil says, proud member of the intolerant left. I'm with you. Amani says, could y'all imagine the greatness we would be getting weekly from this show, watching Exosuit Alex and the Power of Love in season 1?
Yeah.
I hate you for bringing that up. This is the best show on the CW Beboverse. Fight me.
Are we calling it the Beboverse and not the Arrowverse anymore? Because I'm okay with us calling it the Beboverse.
Me too. So in love with Bebo. Oh my God.
Me too. And I'd be like, if they are smart, they would actually put that toy for sale because I would buy it.
Okay.
Bebo love you.
I was at Heroes and Villains convention this weekend, and somebody, I assume, made this or purchased it from a custom something maker, had a full Bebo walking around.
What?
I have never, and it was definitely a child. I have never wanted to beat a child's ass so badly and take something from them.
Shanna, God damn it. You and kids, we've had this conversation over the years. I need you to calm the hell down.
It was a Bebo.
You the same person talking about you with the knife with the Punisher's kid. Stop.
Oh yeah, I hated that kid. Wasn't his name Zach? All horrible kids on television are named Zach.
From the strain?
Yes, every single bad child on television is named Zach. It's like a.
What about Saved by the Bell?
He wasn't a child.
No, that's trash. Haven't you seen that series? Zach Morris is trash.
No, that's not true.
No, there's some truth to that shit.
That's pretty true.
We don't abide Zach Morris slander here.
I like Paul Gosselaar, but Zach Morris was trash.
Remember when he fought Slater and AC folded his ass up? AC had that smoke.
If Kara's really out of the DEO, they need to bail Manchester and give him a job. All that money and manpower they were spending looking for Agent Liberty, and my man did a one-man investigation to beat them to the punch. Put some respect on his name. That is a good ass point.
Is it an investigation where you're just torturing people before you kill them?
I feel like those facts are irrelevant.
Details.
I'm result oriented.
Look. Lockwood finally realized his real superpower this episode. Being a faceless terrorist is cool, but he stepped into being a white man in America. Can't nothing beat that, especially when it's backed by the 53%. I just want to know who he was talking to on that phone call. My President-elect's agenda is rising. And that teaser for the crossover is everything. We got my Flash back in the 90s suit from that terrible-ass TV show, and I can't wait. This is why Shanna sent that calendar invite early. I need you to send it again. I can't find it.
Okay, I will. I think I sent out a calendar invite like 2 months ago when the first teaser trailer dropped. I was like, so when we recorded about Westworld, I'm so excited.
And Gil came back to the end of season prediction. Kara gets outed as Supergirl. John uses his power to make the whole planet forget. I will beat everybody's ass.
No. This was too important for it to be retconned. This is too important, what we've gone through. We've been through it. You can't erase this.
If they had that ability, they need to go ahead and use that now. Like, make all these people stop being racist, John.
Right. There it is. Sorted.
Should use it on Ben instead. He should have used it on Ben instead of Manchester. Been like, stop what you're doing right now. Don't be racist. Like, oh,
like, God, is that you?
Right. Then Manchester be like, I guess I can't kill him now. I don't know.
Now Manchester would have still killed him. He still would have did it.
That man and his wife for sure.
Wait, where's their kid?
So what being racist?
I guess the dog got adopted.
on 4chan, logging in.
Oh Lord, probably.
It's on YouTube channel.
He was horrible. I hated that little boy too. See, they just gotta make kids on TV better.
Maybe his name is Zach.
His name is probably Zach.
Yeah.
It probably is.
Definitely. All right. That is all I have. I'm so happy that you guys came. Tell
you
them,
so much.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
I was gonna say like tell the people where they can find you. I mean, you can, but if you're
No,
listening to this,
we're gonna be professional about this.
Yes.
Please tell the people where they can find you, Rod and Karen.
You can find us on theblackguywhotips.com or tbgwt.com, or you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher. Just search The Black Guy Who Tips. Leave us 5-star reviews. We appreciate everybody takes the time out to do that. And you can follow us on social media where I live tweet some shows. Rodimus Prime is my Twitter.
And I'm saying that again. That is in DAT.
Guys, you're so on it. You're so professional. Like, well, thank you for joining us. Like, we are so unprofessional here. Y'all know where y'all can find us.
She is so unprofessional. Ain't no we in this shit.
A2 Brute. A2. Okay.
I love you. Mwah. You're my baby.
Okay, that's all I got. I love all of y'all, and thank you for joining us. We will see you back here at the end of the Elseworlds crossover to talk all things nerdy. Thank you for listening. Good night.
Bye.